हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। सब कैसे हैं? अब सबको आवाज आ रही है?
Assalamualaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम।
How are you, sir?
हम गुड। अब सब कैसे हैं?
Hello.
अच्छा, अब
Sayed,
सबको
can you
आवाज आ
hear me?
यप, आई कैन हियर यू। सो आप सबको आवाज आ रही है ना?
Sayeda, since before we begin the class, I had a quick question. I was the one who posted about the Mac thing. जैसा आपने डाउनलोड किया था लास्ट क्लास से मुझे उस तरह से तो नहीं मिल रहा है बट आई एम गेटिंग द ऑप्शन टू डाउनलोड इट फ्रॉम sourceforge.net तो वहीं से डाउनलोड करेंगे.
Yes, SourceForge or GitHub दोनों reliable resources हैं. I think I gave a link. Did I give a link? Yeah, it was yours. I think I did it a few minutes ago. या आपको
Yeah,
लिंक?
exactly.
तो ये SourceForge से कर रहे हैं या आप अपाची की वेबसाइट से डाउनलोड कर रहे हैं?
Apache की वेबसाइट से. Okay. ApacheFriends.org से.
जी, दोनों बेसिकली इट कैन वर्क ऑन ईदर, किसी से भी आप डाउनलोड करें, बट just follow the guide and it should be okay. If you want, we can do a run through to see if it runs on your machine. If you want to share your screen, if you feel comfortable, हम share करके देख सकते हैं कि where you're making a mistake. But just be careful. I think exam के अंदर ना दो versions आती हैं और मेरे साथ ये first time हुआ था. I also have a Mac in my office और उसके अंदर मुझे problem ये आती थी कि when I go to download exam, इसके अंदर दो versions आते हैं. शाजिया, एक है VM version और एक है खाली एग्जाम सर्वर, एक एग्जाम VM. So उसके लिए डाउनलोडिंग के लिए है ये डाउनलोड्स. Okay, exam for Windows, exam for Linux, exam for OS X, ठीक है, ये आप डाउनलोड करेंगी.
Exam for OSS. Okay.
लेकिन कोशिश करें कि don't download the latest version, download like 1.7.3 is actually better. क्योंकि लेटेस्ट वर्जन का ये होगा कि PHP के ना जो लेटेस्ट वर्जन PHP के हैं वो कुछ चीजें सपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे जिनको आप ट्राई करने की ऑनलाइन ट्यूटोरियल्स आप देखेंगी. इफ यू वांट टू प्ले अराउंड विद इट, आप कुछ करने की कोशिश टेस्टिंग, तो वो काफी फेल हो जाएंगी क्योंकि लेटेस्ट वर्जन PHP के बहुत कम थीम सपोर्ट करते हैं वर्डप्रेस में.
Okay,
So
तो पहला वाला
7.
ट्राई करूँ.
Yeah, 7.3 is a better chance, but 7.4 भी है. तो देखो इधर एक ना, ये एक एग्जाम का वर्जन है, इसका नाम है एग्जाम VM. So just make sure you're not downloading that because that's a virtual machine. Exam VM. Here, exam for exam PM for bio. Yeah, एक ये exam PM. This is how it's written. Just make sure you're not downloading this.
Okay.
And this
Oh
is
yeah,
how it
that makes
starts.
sense.
आपका इस तरह start होता है when you start your
नहीं
exam.
नहीं नहीं मैंने
So
ऐसे
then
ही
you're on
स्टार्ट
the
किया
right
था.
way. So फिर आप ठीक है, फिर आपका VM नहीं है. And what problem are you getting when you're downloading exam?
मेरा हो ही नहीं रहा था. It was like it wasn't even supporting it. I think मैं दूसरी I think I was trying with the source forge.net से. अभी मैं Apache से try कर रही है.
Oh, हम Apache का ना link. Let me see if I can get this link for you. It opens a generic link for downloading.
Yeah, I found this page.
ठीक है, found it. ठीक है, आप try करें.
Yeah.
If you can do it, just post it on the Google Classroom and I will reply to it accordingly.
Perfect.
All right. Other than Shazia, किसी और को कोई issue हुआ exam या वो web install करने में Windows के? If anybody has an issue, please share before we begin the class. क्योंकि लाज़मी है कि at this point, you guys should be able to have a working web installation.
Sir?
Yes.
सर मैंने जब WAMP इंस्टॉल किया था तो पहले वो टास्क बार में जो उसका आइकन था वो रेड था, देन वो येलो हो गया और देन वो ऑटोमेटिकली ग्रीन हो गया. मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया, कोई इसकी मैंने कॉन्फ़िगरेशन चेंज नहीं की थी. सो इज इट नॉर्मल?
Yep. और लास्ट सेशन में हमने इसकी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्यों चेंज की थी? A lot of the times जो विंडोज की एप्लीकेशंस होती हैं ना वो पोर्ट 80 यूटिलाइज करती हैं. Port 80 is a very common port used for internet communication, HTTP की communication के लिए, और WAMP or any other exam uses port 80 as well. It means that you have nothing installed on your machine that will use port 80. But on my machine, unfortunately, and most of the machines that we use or computers we use, port 80 is already being occupied by another application. So just to be on the safe side, हम उसको 8080 में use करते हैं. So no other interference or no other application uses that port. It's just like a precautionary step we will do. And I do recommend that you also do that. Because let's say it's further down the road, there comes an app, it becomes an issue that uses port 80, then it will be very hard to figure out that why is your web failing.
Okay, so should I change it?
Yeah, you should change it. Because port 80 use ho or port 8080 use ho, as a developer, it shouldn't matter to us. Because we have access to the configuration, we can always look at the configuration file that, hey, what port did I have open for Apache? So it shouldn't be an issue. You can even use 8081, any 4 numbers you want. It doesn't make a difference. But just don't use port 80. Because it's a very common port and almost every other application uses it. So any other questions? Anyone?
सर वो लॉगिन करते हुए थोड़ा सा टाइम लग गया था, तो आप दोबारा प्लीज बता दें क्या बात हो रही थी.
Ikra, we were just हम बस ये डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि सबने सक्सेसफुली वेब इंस्टॉलेशन कर ली थी अपनी मशीन के अंदर. Was everybody able to follow the video yesterday? मतलब not yesterday, the day before yesterday. जो फर्स्ट सेशन था कि सबने उसको रेप्लिकेट करके वेब की सक्सेसफुल इंस्टॉलेशन कर ली थी.
जी जी वो तो कर लिया. अच्छा, wordpress.org यूज करेंगे आप?
वो डाउनलोड करने के लिए वर्डप्रेस.
वो तो डाउनलोड कर ली थी.
बस ठीक है. एंड यू आपने उसको इंस्टॉल भी कर लिया था, अ फ्रेश कॉपी ऑफ वर्डप्रेस. ठीक है. एंड आई थिंक यही मेरा आज का क्वेश्चन था कि बिफोर वी बिगिन टुडे सेशन, लेट्स जस्ट मेक श्योर दैट सब कैंडिडेट्स ने जो है ना वर्डप्रेस इंस्टॉल कर लिया है. बिकॉज अगर किसी ने नहीं किया, इट्स बेटर दैट हम सब उसकी मिलके हेल्प करके just make sure that that candidate has that installed. It's better that everybody's on the same page. So let's start with WordPress. So I'm gonna probably close everything. ये मैं इधर right side पे खुली रहने दूंगा so I can see your messages. Ikra, can you hear me now? I think she says she cannot hear, but I think if you guys can hear, then it's an issue on her side.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear it, so ठीक है. No, Ikra, bro, मुझे उसका नाम भी नहीं पूरा पता. Not you, I think. एक और भी Ikra है. मुझे उनका Ikra Brohi, मैं सही नाम बोल रहा हूँ. I think she left. No, she's here. Oh, Ikra, आपने ना वो communicate, आपका ना वो audio नहीं connect हुआ Zoom के साथ. Either you use your cell phone or your computer, your cell phone audio to connect.
मेरी सर?
No. आपने एक और भी करा इधर है chat में.
Sorry.
Please connect to Zoom. But I think she can always listen to the after recording anyway. हम जाएंगे. First, we're gonna launch WAMP and see if it's working correctly. Without this, there will be no services, so हम अपने WordPress को follow नहीं कर पाएंगे. And let's wait till it turns green. और ये green हो गया. So I'm gonna go here. मैं अपना local host खोलूंगा. And I think I'm gonna first open my www directory. और मेरी थी Amazon की website जो मैंने बनाई थी. एक मिनट के लिए मिनिमाइज कर दूं स्क्रीन. Yep, I think I have a WordPress installation inside. So I'm gonna go here on a open Firefox. आपके लिए आप Chrome जो भी use करते हैं Safari वो करें. So I'm gonna type in localhost port 8080 क्योंकि मैंने इसके लिए custom configuration की थी, and Amazon की directory का मैं नाम लिखूंगा, which is also my website URL, and I'll press enter. And this should open my WordPress site, a public facing side है ये. Now ये public facing side हम इसको कहते हैं कि this is what the customer sees when they open your site. इसको हम landing page भी कहते हैं, which is a particular page, but everything in as soon as you type in the main URL is called the public facing site. ये correct terminology है. Now we want to log into the WordPress management system which controls this website. There are two ways to do it. The most generic way जो हर कोई use करता है is जो आपकी website की URL होगी, you type in that, you press slash, and then you press in wp-admin, and then slash. And this will open you to the login screen for WordPress. So you can log into the CMS और अपनी WordPress के अंदर जो development, configuration या changes करनी है आप वो कर लें. तो हम इसको open करते हैं, enter दबाते हैं, तो ये WordPress का login page आ गया है. ये हमें उसी website के back end पे ले जाएगा और वहां से जो हमने इसका यूजर नेम और पासवर्ड क्रिएट किया हम इधर एंटर करेंगे, हम WordPress की configuration और डैशबोर्ड पे लॉगिन हो जाएंगे. The other way is same website का URL लिखेंगे, हमारा Amazon है, and I think you just type in login. This is the other way. अब इसको भी एंटर जाएंगे, सेम पेज सेम कुछ, और आपने देखा हमने स्लैश लॉगिन लिखा था, उसने हमें रीडायरेक्ट कर लिया wp-login.php. This is the third way, but this is an auto redirect. जब हमने wp-admin dash लिखा था उसने साथ थोड़ा एक follow up URL भी दे दिया. But these are the two most generic ways. Slash login जो हमने इधर use किया था, sometimes a lot of developers they hide this, or they will even hide wp-admin. They will have a custom URL just to be on the safe side. They will use something called like hlog. आप उसको एक custom name भी दे सकते हैं अपने login dashboard को front end से. You can use a plugin, you can use coding. The reason that you want to do is that everybody know how to log into a WordPress dashboard, and WordPress is one of the most vulnerable system जिनको ये hackers or scammers use करते हैं break in करने के लिए. So either have a very strong password, a very strong login method, तो कोई आपकी website को abuse ना कर सके. And the other way is just change your login URL. wp-admin के बजाय या /login के बजाय develop a custom login slug. हम इसको slug कहते हैं. This is called a slug. So you use a URL slug or you develop a custom URL slug or an address जिस पे आप login हो सके, जो सिर्फ आपको ही पता हो. इससे आप अपनी वेबसाइट को one step secure कर लेते हैं. So we will follow the most generic way. मैं ये सारा कुछ बंद कर रहा हूँ. And we will start with इस ट्रेनिंग में हम wp-admin यूज करेंगे. And we'll just press enter. हमने I think previous class में user बनाया था, test user I think, or just test. Let's see test 1 2 3. Yep. ये हमने अपनी वीडियोस में आप देख सकते हैं लास्ट वीडियो में, इसमें हमने वेबसाइट बनाई थी. And once you log into the WordPress site, there's a few things that I always do when I create my WordPress site, and I'm going to let you guys know as well, is I go to the setting panel. This is the first thing you need to do. You go to the general tab on the setting and you view your settings one by one. उसके अंदर हमारा site title है, it's called Amazon. This is the site title you see on the screen. So if I open this website, the first word I see over here before the dash is called the site title on the tab right over here. So WordPress is asking me, what do you want your site title to be? So I can say Amazon books, and this will change up here. The next is tagline. Tagline क्या है? Tagline है is like you can say a subtext after your site title. If you want to say a slogan up and डालना है या कोई subtext डालना है, और यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है just another WordPress site, and this is right after Amazon, just another website. This is what you will see. If you keep your mouse on it, आपको पूरा drop down में नजर आ जाएगा, or from an info text on it. So a lot of good websites, they want to have their own website slogan or a website saying. So for example, if I open the website I worked on, so it has its title, Road Duck, and अगर हम इसके ऊपर मौजूद can say logistics and freight services. So sometimes they don't have a slogan, पर आप उनको कुछ एक्स्ट्रा इन्फॉर्मेशन देख सकते हैं that tells them what kind of business is this, what kind of service do they provide, and we just wrote logistics and flight services. A lot of the clients, they like this kind of thing. ये छोटी छोटी चीजें अपनी clients को बहुत पसंद आती हैं, even though they don't know कि WordPress site में क्या क्या उनके पास flexibility है, but you as a developer should let them know that these are the little things we can do and they will appreciate it. So we would change our tagline to the best store online. ठीक है, this is one. These two are very important: WordPress address and site URL. WordPress address क्या है कि where is the directory holding all your website files? This is called the WordPress address URL. कि WordPress किस URL से website की आपकी files retrieve करे. In our scenario, localhost means हमारा personal computer जो web server पे चल रहा है, using port 8080. But in a real life scenario, जब आप production level पे जाएंगे, जब कोई आप panel use करेंगे, you won't be using any kind of port integration. So you will be missing these 5 characters or digits on the web address. This is only for your local development that you're using a port number. So you will have, so what is WordPress is saying, where should I receive your website files from on the WordPress address? So we're telling them that retrieve it from localhost 8080, which is our www.directory. And inside that directory, there's a folder called Amazon, or वहां से आप सारी file retrieve करें. And let's just make sure this is true. And actually, I'm just going to close this, and we're just going to check it the old-fashioned way. हम इस पे क्लिक करेंगे, www.directory पे क्लिक करेंगे, और वहां देखेंगे वहां पर एक फोल्डर है Amazon, और उसके अंदर सारे WordPress की कंटेंट फाइल्ड है, और यहाँ से WordPress सारी कंटेंट उठा रहा है. The easiest way to look at it is here, cwamp www.amazon. But remember that जो आपने WAMP सर्वर इंस्टॉल किया है, उसने इस डायरेक्टरी एड्रेस जो C ड्राइव पे WAMP64 के फोल्डर में www है, उसने इसको कन्वर्ट कर दिया लोकल होस्ट 8080 में. It translated that address into localhost 880. This is very similar to the concept जो हमने पहले फर्स्ट डे में किया था कि DNS नेम, डोमेन नेमिंग सिस्टम जो है, कि वो आपके डोमेन नेम को एक IP एड्रेस पे कन्वर्ट कर देता है. तो समझें कि ये जो आपको C ड्राइव का डायरेक्टरी एड्रेस नजर आ रहा है, ये आपका IP एड्रेस है, and this is your domain name, localhost 8080/Amazon. Any questions? Any confusions? किसी को? Please ask.
सर ये आपने Amazon के फोल्डर में वो वर्डप्रेस का जो सारा सेटअप वाला फोल्डर था वो रखा है?
जी, and there's a reason I did that. आपकी डेवलपमेंट के लिए. अगर हम चाहते, ठीक है,
जी
हम इसको ना, I'm just gonna make it little, क्योंकि मेरे पास लैपटॉप की स्क्रीन है, it's very small. हम Amazon का फोल्डर बनाए बगैर ना, हम जितनी भी फाइल्स इंक्लूडेड है वर्डप्रेस की इसके अंदर, ठीक है, हम इसके अंदर डाल सकते थे डायरेक्ट डायरेक्टरी के अंदर, www के अंदर, without ever even touching here, without even ever creating a folder. But उसका अंदर एक issue है. Then we will be very limited to only having one WordPress site in the www.directory. ये सिर्फ हमारी लोकल इंस्टॉलेशन के point of view से मैं कह रहा हूँ. But if I create a website, if I wanted to create a website called Amazon Bookstore, मैं www.directory में उसके फोल्डर बना के उसके अंदर डालूंगा. In this way, I can have multiple websites being hosted in the www directory. This is the only purpose I did that.
ओके सर.
So let me give you an example before we continue on this. आप लोगों को ये बहुत important है कि you should understand why we have this /Amazon. And I'm going to take a stop over here, and I'm going to do one more thing. Let's go to WordPress.org. Let's download another WordPress installation. And I think when we do this, आप लोगों को बहुत clarity से समझ आ जाएगी why are we doing this. A lot of people don't do this. Majority of the people don't do this, but I do this. And I tell everybody who I tell that they should learn WordPress, they should do this too. तो ये मैंने WordPress की एक zip folder डाउनलोड की अपने डाउनलोड पे. So डाउनलोड पे मैं इधर खोल लेता हूँ, easy है, ठीक है. और I already had one, मेरे पास 2 हो गई हैं, मैं कोई मूव कर देता हूँ और मैं ना इसको यहाँ पर एक्सट्रैक्ट कर दूंगा। आई यूज 7-zip, आप कोई सा भी एक्सट्रैक्टर यूज कर लें, अनजिपर या डीकम्प्रेसर। I'm just going to extract here. जब आप एक्सट्रैक्ट here करेंगी ना, वो एक वर्डप्रेस की फोल्डर बना देगा इधर इस तरह, जिसके अंदर वर्डप्रेस की इनिशियल फाइल्स होंगी that we need for installation. So what I do is that I basically just rename this. Let's say we make another website for OpenMaven. OpenMaven test site है, ठीक है? This is what I want to name the website. This is what I name my WordPress folder. और इसके अंदर WordPress के contents हैं जो हमने download किया again. I will just copy this and I will paste this into the www directory. Each time www directory का आपको अगर भूल जाता है, it's very easy. All you need to do is just go to WAM, left click or www directory and it will open that. And I will paste it here. इसने कॉपी नहीं की। You can either use WAMP or you can use your C drive to go there. I would use the other method, C drive, WAMP key installation folder, www.directory. यहाँ आप वो WAMP से भी इसको directly कर सकते थे, either way. तो इसके अंदर मैं paste कर दूंगा. It's gonna take a while because a lot of files.
सर ये एग्जाम में तो htdocs में रखते हैं हम।
Yes, आपका जो एग्जाम होगा उसके अंदर htdocs होगा.
Okay.
There's a lot of names for this. Some applications call it HTML. जब आप पैनल होस्टिंग में जाएंगी ना, जैसा सी पैनल हो गया या वेबओएस पैनल हो गया, जैसा GoDaddy, HostGator, SiteGround, जितनी भी ये साइट्स हैं, they use the folder HTML. तो उधर ना आपको htdocs मिलेगा ना www dot मिलेगा, उधर आपको HTML मिलेगा, और anything inside HTML is publicly hosted and served through web server. So there will be different names. So then it's up to you, students, that whatever application you use, either Google them that what is my hosting directory, or either ask me, I can help you, or you can just figure out yourself. So हमने ये folder बनाया OpenMaven.test, and what we need to do is that for each folder we create here in the www directory, we're representing one website, and each website needs its own individual database. कहने का मतलब ये है कि हर website पे आपको एक database create करना पड़ेगा और एक database user create करना पड़ेगा. And आप लोगों ने कभी भी एक डेटाबेस और एक डेटाबेस यूजर से सारी वेबसाइट्स इंटीग्रेट नहीं करनी. Sometimes they overlap, data overlap होता है, and it can break all the website using that username and database. Sometimes आपके अकाउंट कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो जाते हैं, someone hacks into your account, आपकी वेबसाइट की इंफॉर्मेशन लीक हो जाती है, someone is trying to give you a hard time. अगर उसने सिर्फ एक आपका लॉगिन एक्सेस किया, it means that they can only damage that one website, not all the websites. So just keep in that mind that for each website, we need to create one new database and one new user. For Amazon, we created one. We will create now one for OpenMaven test. So again, go to your WAMP or exam server, click on PHP MyAdmin. The page will fail to load because we're using a custom port. And we just want to put in 8080 localhost ke baad. And if it asks me for a login, I never set a password. हमने बस install किया था WAMP server. We never give a password. I'm just going to leave this empty for our development and testing purpose. And I'm going to go. So let's create our new database for OpenMaven. Very easy. Either we can click new over here, or we can click databases. और यहाँ पर भी हम database का नाम डाल के उसको create कर सकते हैं. So let's open one for OpenMaven. So I'm going to make a very small one. I'm going to abbreviate it, and this is what developers do. They abbreviate database name, and just make sure you keep everything lowercase. So I'm going to OpenMaven OM, and then I'm going to put in test. So this is the test site for OpenMaven. Or Hamisha, whenever you create a database, always use UTF-8 General CI as your constellation text or your character format. This is the standard throughout WordPress, and this is what WordPress is easily readable to. And there's a guide. इसकी guide भी होगी, मैं आप लोगों को दूंगा how to create a database and how to create a user account today. And just please follow those instructions and always use this. And I'm going to click create. और ये आपका database create हो गया. OM test, OpenMaven test. Now we're going to create a user. We're going to click on the main server, go to the home page, user account. And today, last time we created a user, हमने इसको सारे global privileges दिए थे. When we give global privileges or all privileges that you can see over here, it says all privileges. It has access to each and every one database जो आपकी PHP MyAdmin में नजर आएगा. It will have access to this performance schema, the OpenMaven test, our first database, इसको सारे दे, which is very risky. I mean, as long as you're doing it over here, आपकी local machine में WAMP, no difference क्योंकि इसका access सिर्फ आपको है. But when you go to a live website or a cPanel, there are other ways to create a database and users using your own integration. But if you end up using my PHP admin, आपने इसको global access नहीं देना. And we will do that right now to see how we do it. हम add a new user account में जाएंगे. Username तो हम इसका लिखेंगे OM test, OpenMaven test. Localhost, always localhost. Password is हम वही लिखेंगे test 123. Our testing purpose test 123. And this is database for user account. If you want to grant any privileges, we're not going to grant any privileges. Last time when we created our test database user, हमने check all पे click किया था, and we gave each and every access possible हमारे MySQL के database में on all the databases that this user can access. अब हमने ये नहीं करना. अब हमने इस user को selective access देना है only to one database. So I will make sure that this is unchecked, and I'm going to go. And it says you have added a new user, but this user doesn't have any kind of authorization to access any of these databases because we didn't give them any access or any global privileges. And
सर ये तो लोकल है. सर ये लोकल है तो इसमें हम यूजर क्यों क्रिएट कर रहे हैं?
तो आप अपनी WordPress की साइट को किस तरह कनेक्ट करेंगे once you begin the WordPress installation? जब आपकी WordPress की installation शुरू होती है, it asks you what database do you want to connect your WordPress site to, and what is the user and password for that database.
Okay, sir.
So make sure आप जब भी उस स्टेज में आएंगे, जब आप WordPress की इंस्टॉलेशन कर रही हैं, आप हमेशा एक separate and individual user create करें for each and every. And I know it's a hard job keeping everything intact or उसको save करना. What I do is that I keep a text file for all my clients, and I just write that this is the database username, this is the database name, ये उनकी WordPress की username है. Just keep a simple text file with all these details.
Okay, sir.
But it's very important you do this extra stuff because if you allow global privileges and you create one user for all your website, if someone gets access to that one user, वो आपकी information steal कर लेगा from almost every of your website. So let's say if you're doing any kind of e-commerce, they will even be able to steal credit card information from the website. So you don't want that. So let's go to user accounts, or this is our OM test user that we created, but you see it's a little different than the one we created yesterday. It had all privilege access. This one just has usage. Okay, whatever we allow it to use, it will use that. So हम इसको अब selective access देंगे so that this user OM test can only and only access the OM test database. And remember that our username is OM test and our database is also OM test. We gave them the same names. You can give them different names, doesn't make a difference, but I just created that. I'm going to click edit privileges. And I'm going to click database. Either indicate global है, I'm going to change the database. And now it's going to ask me, what database do you want to give access to? So हम इधर OM test लिखेंगे. Do I have to select it or? Oh, let's see. And now it's asking me, okay, वो जो database हमने select किया है, the one we actually took, OM test database है. Remember that this is not the username, this is the database, OM test. ये इसको refer कर रहा है. What kind of privileges do you want to give this user? And at this stage, you can feel free to select check all. it won't make a difference because it will be limited to this database. But then again, you see a lot less options than the global options. So feel free to do it. Click go, and now it is done. And it says you have updated the privileges of OM test successfully. So now we're going to go back to the user account, and you're still going to see that it has the database access, but it's still unused, meaning that it's still on selective usage on the database. And this is the appropriate way to do it. The one we did yesterday is also okay, but as long as you're developing locally. But if agar aap log locally develop nahi kare, then you have to use the user scenario, which is very easy. कि आपने global access को uncheck रखना है and create the user, then go to edit privileges, and there's a database option over here. ये global auto select होता है. Just make sure right over here on this point, it does not say the word global. अगर the global है, you have to make sure you're on the database version. And you should see this option, database specific privileges. Since we already have privileges, it has, but you can then assign multiple database to one user. But we will never do that. We always want to keep one user, one database. तो ये हमारा user database हो गया. और आपने जो पहले question पूछा था कि why are we doing this? So let's install our second website. So I open up a new tab. Localhost 8080. Our first website was Amazon. Our second website is OpenMaven test. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to actually just make these lowercase. इसको हम copy कर देंगे. And this will open my second website. I pressed enter. It will load होगा and it will begin the new installation of a WordPress site. I will click continue. I will click let's go. We're going to click a database name. हमने बनाया था OM test. It was on our local host. Username भी हमारा OM test था. Password we created test 123. And this should always remain localhost. And the table prefix is that if WordPress creates any table in your database, what should they start with? And WordPress automatically is for WP underscore set auto set cut. Then we would just leave it as it is. I'm going to click submit. And it says, well, your installation passed. I mean, your connection passed. And this is OpenMaven test site, the site title, the username. I'm going to give them the same username, test 123. And I have to always confirm that we use password scenario from here. And email, I'm just going to write a dummy email. But you guys don't have to write a dummy email. You will always have to write a good email that belongs to you. You can use one email across 50 different WordPress sites, doesn't matter, but always use a good email that you have access to. So if someone tries to change your password or anything, you get a notification and you can fix that. The last option is search engine visibility. आपने हमेशा इसको uncheck ही रखना है. In this way, you get crawl bots आते हैं, some Google, Yahoo search, MSN search, they will be able to list your website on the search engine. But if you check this, then they will not be able to list you on publicly searchable engines. So we click install WordPress and it says success. And I'm going to log in and I can log into my new WordPress site. So let's do a login since this is 123. And now I'm going to actually open the front end public facing website. So I'm going to show you something here. This is my OpenMaven website. Okay, so I'm just going to try to, and this is, where's my Amazon? Yep, ये मेरी Amazon की website है. So now I'm using one WAMP server to host two different websites. और मेरी screen इतनी बड़ी नहीं है कि I can just squeeze them in, but there you go. And now this is only possible, or ये scenario से possible हुआ है कि I actually created two folders instead of just placing the whole WordPress website, the content of WordPress installation www में. I made folders and I organized them. And if you keep continuing this scenario, you will be able to host 50 to 100 websites, 200 websites in your local machine. This is only for your local machine, the WAMP server or the exam server you're using. तो बार बार create करने की जरूरत नहीं है ना. Yeah, Alize asked a question that local में बार-बार user create करने की जरूरत नहीं. Oh, I think this was an old question. Sorry, I answered that. You will actually have to keep creating local users, and local में yes, you don't have to do it in the local, but this is just for development perspective. I'm just giving you an example. In a real-time world or production level scenario, you will have to create them. But in your local, you don't have to. You're correct. But this is the only reason I created folders in the www directory in the local host directory, so I can easily manage all my websites. And you can have like 100 websites being handled here at the similar time. And each one of those websites have its own URL. देखिए, ये इसकी domain name है. This is the domain name, localhost 8080 OpenMaven for the OpenMaven test site. And for the Amazon, we have a domain name of localhost 8080 Amazon. And these are very similar to the IP addresses that we talked about in the first day. So I'm going to close this and we're going to go back to our Amazon website. I have to basically minimize this. And we're going to continue on with the WordPress lecture where we left off. So अब सबको at this point, this is clear. Why are we doing the WordPress address? कि WordPress किस directly से आपकी website को access करें? And why do we have the /Amazon? Right? Anyone? Any questions? No? So the second part on the setting is site address. Okay, what is your site address? And this is what the public facing address is. What is your homepage or WordPress installation directory? You can just enter it here. It's again the same thing as over here. You will make sure these both are similar. Not a much difference. This is the first thing I explained for the WordPress site directory. ये दोनों same है. And you will enter whatever you enter on the WordPress site realm, you will enter it over here. Administrator email address. This is again when we created our account. This should be your email. If anything happens or you're not able to use your WordPress account, someone tries to change your password, anything, this is the address that it will go to. Membership. Anyone can register on your WordPress site. Do you want people to allow to register on your website? Yes or no? You can use that by checking this option that people can create a user account on your website. It depends on what type of website you created. Let's say if you have a social media website, do you want them to create user account? You can enable and disable this option by here. And the new user default role that if a customer comes and registers on your website, either to buy your product or what kind of role do you want to do that? And by default, it should always be subscriber. They have many other roles. We will go to them in depth, but for now, it should just remain that. Site language, easy. Time zone, you can just leave it UTC.+0, which is the standard for time zone, or you can have your own country's time zone. But I always leave it to UTC+0 because आपके host में फर्क आता है कि the hosting service you use, like GoDaddy or HostGator, they might have a different time zone that their servers are running on. So it's better to just keep it as a standard UTC+0 over here. Date format, whichever date format you are comfortable for as a developer, आप इधर वो set कर दें. Same thing with the time and what is the week, the first day of the week that it starts in your country, in your area. Monday is the standard, and then we click on Save Changes. So अब जब हमने Save Changes किया, ये बार-बार ये बड़ा हो जाता है. Okay, now it's better. We updated the site title and the tagline. ये पुराना version खुला हुआ है, which we didn't update. So now if we refresh this page, तो यहाँ पे जो इसका site title होगा and the tagline, this will update. So let's refresh. There you go. अब इधर Amazon Books आ गया and the best bookstore online नजर आ गया आपको. And this is how you do your initial settings of your WordPress site. And now we're gonna keep continuing going to the setting tab. We're gonna go into the writing tab of the settings, the writing submenu. Over here, it's asking you default post category and default post format. These are the only two things we're gonna use. We're not gonna touch any of the post via email service or anything bottom. We're just gonna look at the first two settings. A lot of the times when you install a theme, either कुछ extra options आ जाते हैं right over here. Just make sure that the default post format is always the standard format. A lot of time kuch themes hote hain, they will change this according to their need, but if you don't have it before the theme, just make sure this is standard. And the category is uncategorized because you did not create any category, and we will never create a category before installing a theme. Your theme hum install karenge WordPress mein, they will create the categories for us. So this might change depending on the theme, but the default post format should always remain standard. And you can just ignore the remaining half. It doesn't concern us. This is more in technical in depth, but we don't want to do this. Two more settings that we're going to look over here. One is reading. This is very necessary. Okay, once you install your WordPress theme, you will be giving an option that आपका home page क्या है and आपका post page क्या है. Post page is your blog or news page, and home page is the page that when someone types in www.openmaven.org, that's the page that the website is going to open. And you can select a lot of pages over here जो आपकी theme के मुताबिक होंगे, and you can set that as the home page. When someone types www.openmaven.org, just show them the sample page. And if someone wants to view the blog of OpenMaven, so if they type openmaven.org/blog or /news, open this page. And you can set those pages over here. Right now, we're not going to touch this because we don't have a theme installed, but once the theme is installed, we're going to play around with this. I'm not going to save this. And the last one is permalinks. Permalinks is very important. This is how WordPress generates your URL for your website. जो हम URL इधर देख रहे हैं. This is how it generates the whole remainder of the URL and your slugs. And this is how you tell WordPress that this is a structure I want you to follow. The best structure on most of the WordPress site is the post name structure. And please try to keep it as a post name structure. If you're a news website जहाँ आप daily news देते हैं, let's say अगर पाकिस्तान में Geo News हो गया, Dawn News हो गया, they will follow a more of a date structure, just like a day and name structure. In this way, that if they are spreading multiple news per day, they will follow this structure. But other than that, post name is the most commonly used. And yeah, e-commerce, social media sites, your fashion site, if you have a musician website, if you're a band, if you're a radio, 90% of the website use sample post structure. The remaining 10% use the day and name, and this is only if you have an archive-based website. जहाँ पर आप news, probably अगर किसी city की local website है where they want to keep updated from whatever they posted, or job boards, वो ये use करेंगे. But a lot of the job boards also use posting, but some job boards use the day and name structure. But these are the two main structures that you will use. The rest remaining, I never think you will ever come across. A lot of the themes auto select custom structure for you, and they post it by some variable that you see here. But the theme does this automatically because theme key requirement there. And at that time, you cannot do nothing. And that's what the team wants. That's what the team will get. And they will auto select this on your behalf. But before that, just make sure you have post name selected. You can just remove this optional. You don't have to worry about it. Click save. And now you're good to go on your WordPress. There's a lot of menus जो आप लोग इधर देखेंगे. We will go them one by one. The second step that you want to do as a WordPress developer is go to the plugin directory on a new installation and delete these two remaining. You don't want these. And if you want these, there are better plugins to use them. And they're not activated. और आपने जो plugins आप नहीं use करते, just delete them. And what are plugins? Plugins जो है, they're like small pieces of codes. अगर मैं आपको बताऊं, if you want a certain functionality available in your WordPress site, you can install a plugin which actually generates that code for you on your website, and you will have that feature available on your WordPress website. So let's say if I have a website and I wanted to install a Facebook, let's say I want to do my Twitter feed, and अपनी Twitter feed show करानी है on my WordPress site, I will try to search for a Twitter feed plugin in the plugins directory. And I will type it here. Then I will say that search for the plugin in the WordPress directory after I click search. Or I can just go from here. And this is custom Twitter feed widget. There are a lot of Twitter feed widgets. Whichever you feel comfortable, you can install that. Um, Smash Balloon is a very famous one. I will click install now. And you don't have to worry why I'm doing this. This is just to show you guys. And I'll click activate. And now if I go back to my plugin menu, आप देखेंगे यहाँ पर Twitter feed की custom जो है plugin custom Twitter feeds की plugin available है. And what the plugins do is that they make one functionality or multiple functionalities available to your website. So आप लोगों को code नहीं करना पड़ता. You don't have to program. You don't have to write any code. Installing a plugin generates that code for you. And each plugin changes only a small portion of your website or makes a small portion or small feature available. That's the main reason for a plugin. The more plugin you install, the more features your website will get. But just make sure वो ज़्यादा plugins ना install करें, because the more plugins you install, the slower your website will get. So each plugin brings in the load to your website. So never ever install unnecessary plugins. Let's say if I have a client who didn't request me to install Twitter feeds, but he has a Twitter account, but he never told me he wanted it, और मैं फिर भी इसके अंदर install कर देता हूँ, I'm putting extra loading time on his website. I'm putting extra cost on his server. So in this way, the website थोड़ी सी delay load होगी, and we don't want that. We want our website to be loaded as fast as possible. And this is what the plugin section does. Just make sure that when you do a new WordPress website, everything is deactivated and deleted. There should be no plugins in your fresh installation. And same thing with appearance. Appearance has a lot of options. We're going to go them one by one, but not today. We're just going to use the one called theme. This is the sub menu where you can say either upload your own created theme. Yeah, if you purchase the theme or if you downloaded one from online, you can install it here. And as you can see, there's one theme that says the word active on it and customize, and the remaining two are just empty. What I do is a good practice. Jo hum theme nahi use kare, I always delete them. So you click on them and you delete. You click on them and you delete. Because we're active nahi hai, we're not using them, and now you will just see one. And अगर मेरे पास एक अपना theme होगा, like my own personal theme, जो मैंने इसका upload करना, I would just use that by adding add new. That's what the add new button is. It will show you all the themes that are available freely from WordPress that you can install by one click. You're free, they don't charge you anything. Or if you have your own that you purchased through a website called Theme Forest or any other website you like, you can click upload theme, you can click browse, or आपके PC में ले जाएगा, and you will select the zip folder for that theme and it will be uploaded over here. The next menu options is media, pages and comments and post. We're gonna go them. Post पे हम जाते हैं. Let's start with the first one. Post are blogs and news. इसको हम कहते हैं. Let's open one. These are the little news or blogs that you send in, that you post here. This is the visibility. This is the post editor. आज हम इस पे काम नहीं करेंगे. हम इस पे कल काम करेंगे. पर this is what a post look like. अगर आप इसको initial reference में देखें, whatever you type here appears on your first end. They created a post called Hello World. Welcome to my WordPress site. This is your first open editor, delete it, then start writing. And this is our first post over here. So let's say if I wanted to edit this and I just remove this and I said, hi, this is my very first post or news on my Amazon books blog, and I just click update. और अगर मैं अपने front end page पे जाऊँगा and I refresh this, and you can see there, hi, this is my very first post for news on my Amazon bookstore, on my Amazon books blog. And post professionally are used by bloggers. They use this feature. A lot of the websites who want to give their news or give any kind of not an events page, but any kind of updates on their ongoing services or something, they use the post feature. And what I'm going to show you is that I'm going to go one step back by clicking the back button. I can create a new post. and I can add a title. I just started my training. This is the main, someday के मैं एक news दे रहा हूँ और मेरी जो main news की headline है उसको मैं रखूंगा I just started my training, and we can say that Syed started his training today. ये उसकी body के अंदर जो हमने brief description देनी है. This could be like more than 5,000 characters, as much as you want. I'm just gonna. I'm going to put chars here, and यहाँ पर आप अपनी detail करेंगे, and we will make this look very fancy in the future, but not today. And I'm going to just publish this. Remember that the first time जो बनी बनाई post थी, the update का option आया था, says this is a new one that we're creating. So this is publish. And one thing you just want to make sure is that if I go to advanced, will they give me an option? No, they give me an HTML anchor, but we're not going to cover this. But publish. And now it says that visibility public. Do you want everybody to view this post? Do you want a certain people registered on your website, or do you want to password protect this post? A lot of times we don't care about private and password protected. It's always public, because WordPress is mostly used for public website. Publish immediately, or do you want a time that you want this news or post to go live? इसको हम कहते हैं कि scheduling a post in advance for the near future. We would just want to do it immediately. लेकिन अगर आप चाहते हैं कि ये जो post है ये कल नजर आए, let's say 8 p.m. and we can just do that today. हम इधर कल का time दे के 8 p.m. का set कर देंगे, and we will click publish, and it will be published tomorrow, not today. And here, and this is a very important thing, is add a new tag. I think everybody's familiar with the sign pound or hashtag. Just like in Instagram or Twitter, आप hashtag use करते हैं. Over here, you can do tags as well. So जब कोई आपकी website पे search करे, if they search that specific term, this post will show up. So मैं अपना लिखता हूँ Syed, and then I do another one called Syed training, and I press comma. And when I press comma key, these two are my new tags. If someone goes to this website and searches these two tags, then this post will show up in the search result. It's website by Amazon Book Page. So it's always good that if you have a post, please provide some tags to it so it's searchable. And now we're going to click publish. And this is the URL for my post. I just started my training. I can always edit this if I want to, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to go back to the main home screen. This is the main home screen. I'm going to click refresh. अगर आप देखेंगे अभी the दो post आ गई है, the one that I just created right now and the one that always existed. So let's close this. Now I'm gonna go and open a post. This is an openable link. I'm gonna open this in a new tab. अगर आप देखेंगे, oh, this is the hello world. Sorry, मेरी post नहीं है. The post that I created has a custom URL link. This is a very big link, very hard to memorize. But if अगर आपने इस post को कोई छोटा short link देना है, or if you want to create your own link, what you can do is that you can go to the, once the post is published, go to the permalink, and this is the slug, and आप इसके ऊपर सिर्फ ये कर सकते हैं, Syed training. ये मेरा custom slug है, and उसकी जो URL create होगी, it will look like something like below. This is how it will look, and this will change live accordingly to whatever you type here. Look, the more I type, the bigger it gets. So I'm just gonna keep it to something very simple, Syed training, और मैं इसको update कर दूंगा. So now this URL is invalid. ये अब no longer open होगी. If I try to enter it, it disappeared, and now it has a new URL called permalink called Syed training. Oh, I don't know the option. Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
सर आपने लॉगिन का URL चेंज करने की बात करी थी. वर्डप्रेस पे जब हम लॉगिन करते हैं तो उसका URL चेंज कर देना चाहिए for security purpose, right?
Yes.
So how can we customize that? The same way?
We will get to that, but not like this. उसका थोड़ा different है, and the reason is that you will change the whole architecture and structure for the WordPress itself, the WordPress engine or CMS जिसको हम कहते हैं. But I
सर
will,
तो
yes, ask.
तो ये बेटर नहीं होगा कि हम इसको साइट बनाने से पहले ही चेंज कर दें लॉग इन करने के
It
बाद?
won't make a difference. The only reason मैंने आपको वो क्यों नहीं करने देना, there's a topic for SSL and CDN, और मैं वो उस टाइम पे कवर करना चाहता हूँ. Because at that time we were gonna come back and we will change the URLs again because we have an SSL certificate. And I think everybody must be clear what an SSL is these days. SSL होता है
Security purpose.
yeah, for the security purpose, a secure transportation layer that helps the communication between a browser and a server, a client and a server to be more precise, go encrypted. And उस टाइम पे हमें अपनी जो सारी वेबसाइट URLs हैं जो HTTP based format पे यूज हो रही हैं, so I'm not going to change these pages. I'm going to just open a new one. And actually, I can just do it like this. This is even better. If I go back to settings and I go to general method, yep, we would need to change these URLs anyway. So when we are about to change all the URL almost when we're at that stage, that's when we will cover the login and everything. Because अगर आप सारी URLs change करने ही जा रहे हैं, it's better just to do it at the end instead of the beginning. In this way, if something is compatible, not compatible, it won't be an issue. And it won't be an issue anyway. But there's gonna come a time when we will change most of this URLs over here. And at that time, we will create a custom URL for our login as well. And we have to make sure our login works through an SSL layer. And during that time, there will be two formats जिसको हम SSL use कर सकते हैं. One we can use Cloudflare, and one we can have our own generated certificate. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about that after we're done creating our team. जब हमारा team complete होगा, then we will come back to this topic where we can generate our own URL for our login. Is that okay?
Yes.
Sure. I just don't want to put in too much for you guys. It just gets very confusing. But back to the topic. Now I have a new permalink. This is what they call, or a new slug to be short, for my post. And if I go back to the post, this is my new slug. This is also called permalink. And that's about it for the post. For post, I think we will work on using a page builder or post builder to make it fancy. But that's like maybe tomorrow we'll work on that. If I go back and I click on old post again, now I see two posts. Or एक तरीका ये भी है कि I click on edit and I go to the post directly. I'm going to close all these. I click on edit and I go to editing the whole post. I will see a lot of options here. If I want to add options, I can just click on this add block. There should be even more options here. What kind of editor I want to see. We will go in depth with these, but I will try not to go too much in depth with WordPress default blocks and editors. हम either Elementary use करेंगे या WP Bakery use करेंगे on a real theme, which make it even feature. There's a lot of other categories here, but we will go in depth tomorrow in each one of these. Now is just to show you what WordPress is. There's another way to edit a post. One was edit that we just did right now, and one is a quick edit. Let's click on quick edit. Quick edit, do you want to change the title? I just started my training is the name of my post title. आप इसको यहाँ पे change कर सकते हैं. Do you want to change the slug, the permalink जो हम कर रहे थे? आप इधर से change कर सकते हैं. The date that this was created. अगर आपने इसको password or private करना है. Categories, we didn't create any categories. We will save this for tomorrow. Tags जो हमने create किए थे, we can actually add it over here. Status, publish, pending and draft. You can change it to draft, or ये आपकी main page से unavailable हो जाएगी. And now let's do a small change over here so you are more familiar. हम अपनी main homepage landing page खोलते हैं. This is the latest news or post. Oh, there you go, it's working. So what I'm going to do is that मैं अपनी post को draft में convert कर दूंगा, which means that it is not published. It is created but not visible to the public. And by doing that, this will disappear from the home screen. And this is just to tell you what the status column does. It means publish is available, pending review. I will get into this when we go to user management, but right now I'm going to convert it into draft. And this means that this post is created, but it's not available to the public. It's only available to the development team that has access to the CMS WordPress from the backend. And I'm going to refresh. और आप देखेंगे वो front page से invisible हो गया. It is still available in WordPress, but it's not available to the public. Now, if I go back, I quick edit, I change the status to published, I click update, and it should be back there again. There you go. It's available. So this is one quick way of using quick edit. And I mostly use it. I mean, the most you can do out of it is just change your slug, change the title, maybe add tags, maybe change the category that is created, and change the status of it. But if you want to further edit it, you will have to go to the full edit option, like you see in this Hello World post. And I'm going to press cancel. I'm going to do with the pages, which is very like post, very similar to the post. There are pages, and we're going to go pages tomorrow. We're going to skip it, but it has a very same feeling as a post. I'm going to open this up. It is very much like a post, but this is an individual page. ये pages है that you see. Let me give you an example. If I open this website, I have a menu bar over here, and we click on company profile. This is a page. And this is a WordPress build website. And we're going to actually go into the CMS of this website as well, maybe the day after tomorrow. And this is the page I see. And this is the profile page. And this is also a privacy policy page that we see over here. I think we have a privacy policy page for here. Do we? No, we don't. But it's very similar to a post. हम इनकी कल depth में जाएंगे, but you will see the very similar option just for Gutenberg editor, the default editor for WordPress. Same option, same. You will have an option to make your own link, your page attributes, and your title. Page title भी इधर होगा. This is your page title. आप इसको edit कर सकते हैं. And if I go one step back here, this will also give you a quick edit. You can edit the title of your page. You can edit the slug. You can make it a draft or publish, either one you like. Very similar to a post, but there's a huge difference between a page and a post is that a page is like a parent element of a post. Pages can contain posts, but a post cannot contain a page. So basically, ये आपका page है, sample page, and this is a post inside one page. This is post 2 inside page, the page we have open, and this is the page. This is the post 1 inside the page. और ये एक page की उन्होंने थोड़ी सी designing की हुई already, which has a search bar, which has a link to the WordPress, which has review recent comments, recent posts. So a page could be in the hierarchy of a post. And इनके relationship इस तरह होंगे कि one page can contain many posts, but a post cannot contain a page. Or इस पे हम कल in depth जाएंगे, and we will really we'll really do some work using Elementor or WordPress and probably upload a theme as well on this. We have a sample page over here. ये page where is this the page that this is an example page? No, this is not. So इसका slug है sample.page, and if we just click over here, it will open this sample page. And this is the URL directly for opening that page. And all the WordPress websites work on pages. हम उनके ऊपर multiple pages बनाते हैं. Then we kind of create a menu on top that you see here over standard, and we add those pages in the form of either submenus or menus, and then you open those pages. And a lot of the pages, they contain posts. They contain data in the form of posts. So let's say you see a little blocks, they could be actually posts that you see. And we use page builders, which are actually post builders. They create little posts in the form of text, and we call them blocks. So post or pages को आप जरा इस तरह treat करेंगे. This is the whole page, and each little block you see is a post inside the page. Do we have a news? No, we don't have a news. I'm wondering किधर से आपको दिखे post का मैं आपको good option दूँ. Oh, a website I was working on, maybe test.bharatfm.com. This website might have a news post. And basically, this is another WordPress website. This is a radio website. They do live radio broadcasting, and I also build this on WordPress. So there's much you can accomplish on WordPress rather than spinning simple. You can even have your own radio channels hosted on WordPress itself. So if I open this, so this is a little music channel that plays. They can use a radio channel. That is a live broadcasting radio channel that runs here. So I'm going to try to see if we have any news channel advertisement. Inke paas bhi nahi hai news channel. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a live example, but I will give you one tomorrow. We will create our own news channel to get it. But here, events. Events are posts. This is a good example. So these are certain events. Yeah, event ka page hai. This page is called Events Archive, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 posts. And these posts are named as event. जैसा मैंने आपको कहा था कि post can be your blog, post can be your news, and post can also be an event. और अगर हम इस post को open करेंगे, this event post, let's open it. And you will see that it has some data when this event will happen. It will have the date, the time, the city part. This is a dummy website, so it will contain dummy data. It will have some videos, but these are various forms of posts. They have you want to buy a ticket, and this post is going by the name of event, and it has its own slug called VO. Oops, I accidentally opened up. It has its own slug called VO underscore fest. So this is one example of pages and posts. So we saw a page called Events Archive, which contained multiple posts. And if we open up a post, it opens up that post. And this is one I created, Sayed Test Event. I created a dummy one, simple one, and I call it Sayed Test Event. And this is a post. So basically, like I said, one page can contain multiple posts, but a post cannot contain a page, but it can be a page of itself. It's a little complex scenario, but you will understand it the more you go into it. But so far, abhi tak koi question or post or pages mein, ke how the structure work, that a page can contain multiple posts, and there can be multiple types of posts. They can be an event-based post, there can be a blog post, there could be a news post. So a lot of the news channel, when they like put in a lot of small feeds, they're called posts. And I think I can show you one example over here. If I go to their home screen, there you go. They have a news. So this is also a post. So ये जो इन्होंने छोटी-छोटी news दी हुई है, this is also. If I open one of their news, this is also a post. And you see that उन्होंने अपने tags डाले हैं. The way I did Sayed training का tag डाला था, they actually added their own tags, whatever they want to name it. And author archives is the page and the author that has this post. So if I go to author archive, you will see my page. It's called Sayed Abbas author page, and all the news that I did and all the posts that I created. It links it back. So everything is kind of connected. Ooh, any question? Sure, ask a question, Nimra. आपने question पूछना है. I don't know why you guys are not audible. Participants. But I cannot hear you. So a plugin, good plugins are like widgets. They make certain functionalities available on your website. So let me show you a plugin example. Actually, I will show it to you on this website. let's go to the home screen and let's find a plugin that we can actually test on. Let's see if they have a plugin to begin with. These are custom codes. Let's see if they're using actually any plugins. Oh, I'll show you one. Actually, it's not working for me towards the end of the session. Would you? So I'm going to show you what a plugin is. I'm opening up another WordPress site called Dark Army Studios. This is a consulting firm. This is a consulting firm that I run. And so we're going to test a plugin here. So if I go into plugins, let's see what kind of plugins I have available in this WordPress site. So let's do something really, oh, there you go, MailChimp plugin. Does anybody know what a MailChimp is? MailChimp is like a marketing email service. I'm gonna open it. And what MailChimp does is that it allows companies to send mass marketing emails to everyone. जिस तरह आप लोगों को email मिली कि there's a WordPress training going on, it was done through MailChimp. So if you go to your email that you received, let's see if I received one. Did I receive one? I don't even know if I received one. Did it go on training? Huh, yeah. So like the email you see below, it came through MailChimp. And what MailChimp does is that it allows a user to send marketing emails to all of his customers and subscribers. जैसे आप लोग openmaven.org पे आए, आपने सब्सक्राइब किया या अकाउंट ओपन किया, तो आप इस मेल लिस्ट का एक हिस्सा बन गए. And how did you guys end up doing that is either by registering an account or by registering through Zoom. I was able to get your email and use MailChimp to build that address list and send you guys email. Or you guys, or maybe a customer, I can put up a small subscription button on my website to collect email addresses for my subscribers. Sorry, my screen went out. I think you can all see it. So if I open up Dark Army Studios and I go all the way at the bottom, ये MailChimp का subscribe है. It says enter your email address here and subscribe. So if I enter my, let's say, this email address, sayed_1@live.com, और मैं subscribe पे करूँगा, my email address will be added to the contact book at MailChimp. And whenever I send an email to all my subscribers, उनको email मेरी मिल जाएगी, the one that I just sent, just like this, that there's a Pern Stack demo and orientation class recording link, whatever this is, and they will receive it. But how did I integrate this field? ये मैंने field कहाँ से डाली? Subscribe का button मैंने कैसे implement किया WordPress पे? It wasn't there. ये तो पहले WordPress में आता ही नहीं. Just like you saw in the Amazon book page, उधर तो कोई MailChimp का subscribe का option ही नहीं है आपके पास. मैंने ये किस तरह integrate किया? How did I do this? I did this by installing the MailChimp plugin. तो मैंने एक plugin की जिसका नाम था MailChimp, and I installed it. So if I copy this and I go to the WordPress site that we've been working on, actually I even show it to you here. I think I can still be able to search it. And I'm just going to do add new plugin. Either वो मेरे पास पहले available है, so it keeps showing me over here. And I do MailChimp. कि मुझे MailChimp का कोई plugin या functionality चाहिए, so I can integrate this. And it will show me here that these are the MailChimp plugins available to me. And what I can do is that I can install one of these, let's say m4mailchimp.org. And when I install this, and I activate this, it's going to be available in my plugins. And what this plugin will allow me to do is send, for example, this is the same, just consider that this plugin that I install is the same as the MailChimp plugin. I'm just going to deactivate it for now. And it's installed in my plugin folder. So just to give you an example how plugins are installed. But I'm actually going to show you after I install the plugin, हम उसकी settings में जाएंगे. We're going to check the setting for this MailChimp plugin. And it's giving me options, all these options that what do you want to do with the MailChimp. The first is asking, it actually didn't ask me for my MailChimp key ID. It should ask that. And the reason is that क्योंकि इसको already पता है. So if I log out from here, क्योंकि मैंने पहले install की हुई है, so it's not giving me those options. This is how the plugin is. So let's go back to the plugin folder. तो हमने अपनी plugin में जाके add new plugin की, we search for MailChimp, we install MailChimp plugin, and now we're going to go to the settings. I'm going to delete this one. And I'm going to go to the settings of the MailChimp. And now this is how the first time you open this, I'm going to close this. This is how it looks. And it's telling you, the plugin is giving instructions that, hey, if you want to connect your MailChimp account to your WordPress website and collect emails, we need your API key. And how can I get an API key? I will just click in the instructions of this URL over here. And it takes me to the MailChimp website, tells me how can I get my MailChimp API key, which is very easy. And I'm going to try to get an API key here. I'm going to log in. मुझे इसका email, I think it is this. Yep. I'm gonna ये security question. That's why I think it is in my accounts. इधर पे होता है. तो इसको थोड़ा सा ऐसा. It's in my accounts. यहाँ पर उसकी API key होती है. And this is just for again, this is not for every possible plugin. This is just for the MailChimp. It's an integration. Should be in integrations. I can just do it for API key. Sorry, it was in extras API key. And I can just copy this API key and I can just paste it here. And I can click connect. And don't save this. अब जो MailChimp की plugin है, it connected my WordPress site to my MailChimp account. और उसके पास मेरे पास एक mailing list है. It's called the OpenMaven mailing list. And it fetched this list from my MailChimp account. And do I have this OpenMaven mailing list? Yes. If I click on audience, and you see that my audience name is OpenMaven. और उसने ये list इधर मुझे दे दिया कि do you want to fetch this list? मैंने कहा yes. And मैंने इसको किया update list. And my header is sign up for OpenMaven, and my button is subscribe. And if I open my main website, and this is the small form you see over here. First name, last name, and the email address, and you see the subscribe. अब मैं जाके इस plugin में जो plugin मैंने install किया है, I don't, ये मैंने create नहीं किया आपके सामने. I just install the plugin and install these by default. I don't like the way it's set up. It's very, you can say, unorganized. I don't want that. I want just a one single address. मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? Do you want to include these fields? I don't want the address field. I don't want the first name field. I don't want the last name field. I do not want the phone number. And I just click update subscribe button. I just want to collect the email address. I don't want your home address. I don't want your first name. I don't want your last name. I just want your email. And I refresh this page. And there you go. Now I only see email address. क्योंकि मैंने plugin के अंदर जाके uncheck कर दिया था Yeah, I don't want to collect all this unnecessary information from my subscribers. And I see the subscribe button, and I only see the update. And if I want to change my subscribe button, what it says, I can change it here. Subscribe now. And I click update subscribe. अब subscribe के button के आगे now लिखा आ जाएगा. And if I go here, it says subscribe. मैं इसको refresh करूंगा. Now you see subscribe now. जो मैंने लिखा था वो लिखा इधर आ गया. The changes I made in the plugin, this. So the main concept of plugin is to give you small features added to your website. It doesn't change the whole post, it doesn't change the whole website, but it changes small contexts or give you small functionalities. Some plugins are very, very intensive. They can change the whole website if you need it. But the main purpose of plugin is to have smaller features available to you without you ever programming or coding. जिस तरह आपने देखा, I installed the MailChimp plugin. I did not program anything. I did not do anything. It gave me the instruction. उसने मुझे एक guide दिखाई, the link on how to get an API key. I followed this guide, and trust me, the first time I did it, I followed this guide. And मुझे उस वक्त से याद हो गया था कि किस तरह API key लेनी है. I went over there in my MailChimp account, and you can create a MailChimp account for your testing purpose as well. It's free. They don't charge anything. And I went to my account, and I went to the extra menu and API keys, and I obtained my API keys from here. I copied this, and I pasted this inside over here, and then I clicked connect. और उसने मुझे login कर लिया as OpenMaven, and it gave me a list of my audience.
प्रोग्रामिंग नहीं सिखा रहा है नहीं वर्डप्रेस प्रोग्रामिंग नहीं होती है मतलब प्रोग्रामिंग नहीं होती है
आपकी आवाज बहुत कम आई है शादी, क्या कह रही थी आप? Hello? Can you hear us?
Sir?
Yes.
सर ये हर प्लगइन के लिए इतनी लंबी स्टोरी होगी कि API keys and setup and all that.
No.
ये सिर्फ MailChimp के लिए.
ये सिर्फ MailChimp के लिए. It's not very extensive. अगर आप देखें ना, I did it within 10 seconds in front of you, right? So it's not extensive. There are plugins that are very extensive, right? They are very, very extensive. But the thing is, आप ये भी तो देखें, आप programming नहीं कर रहे. The plugin is doing the programming for you.
So the thing is, there are a lot of plugins that exist. So
आपकी आवाज कट रही है. There are a lot of plugins of what? Oh well, everybody's facing a connection issue today. Can you hear me now?
yes, I do.
Okay, so what was your question?
My question was, there are a lot of plugins that exist. So how do we know which plugin exists, which purpose? I cannot memorize it.
Yes, you cannot memorize it, and that's when you rely on Google. And
Okay.
so yeah, Google is going to be your best buddy. I'm here to help you. And one thing I can make you assure you candidates is that the main purpose of this training is not to teach you WordPress, is to make sure that you're able to like work without the guidance of anybody. You should have enough knowledge of finding workarounds on how to do your daily tasks. That's like the 50% of my goal to teach you guys that forget about WordPress. WordPress is one of the tools that we're going to use, but by the end of this training, you guys will be, or you girls will be capable of moving or learning on your own, and you will know how should I search this, what should I do this. And this is, look, when I didn't know about MailChimp account, I did this almost a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I didn't do this a while back, and what I did was I was using MailChimp, and this is what I actually typed in my Google: MailChimp. I know that WordPress works in plugins for it. And these are the exact words I typed. मैं आपसे झूठ नहीं बोल रहा, this is what I typed, and you can see that some are purple. और मैंने इनको कुछ links खोले हुए हैं इधर. And this is 7 best WordPress plugins for MailChimp integration. And you click on one of these and you read through कि ये क्यों famous है. Why are they famous? And this market changes so much, so many new plugins that it is so hard. And you can see on number 2, it says MailChimp Forms by Mail Munch. So if I go here and I go to my plugins and I click on install plugins, oh, this one is by MailChimp, not Mail Munch. This is by MailChimp directly. But do they have one for Easy Phones for MailChimp? Nope. MailChimp by OptinCat, WooCommerce MailChimp, MailChimp by Widget, MailChimp for WordPress. But this is how I found MailChimp. But this is one of the plugins we just downloaded today, MailChimp for WordPress, this one. But you will actually Google for the plugins and you will try them one by one, depending on which one you like. The only reason I like this one, this particular plugin, it blended in with my theme. आपने देखा, my main purpose is that अगर मैं कोई चीज plugin download करूँ, it should blend in with my theme, and it perfectly matches in with my theme after a little configuration. और configuration क्या थी? It wasn't too hard. मैंने कोई खास configuration नहीं किया. I didn't do any rocket science. All I did was uncheck 4 box options. Your 4 checkbox options थे, multiple options थे, मैंने इनको uncheck किया. This is all I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. इनको मैंने uncheck करके update कर दिया. And everything just matched up with my theme so perfect that it looks part of the theme. But it was not part of the theme. Theme के पास अपनी built-in MailChimp की integration थी, which I did not like. And I can show you what the theme actually had installed inside that came with this theme. It was somewhere over here, इसको मैंने deactivate किया हुआ है. I think I deleted it. Yep, मैंने उनको delete कर दिया जो theme के साथ आई थी. But it was very horrible. Both horrible थी. I did not like it. So मैंने अपना I found a third-party free solution for MailChimp, and it just blends it. And आप लोगों के साथ भी ये होगा. Once you first start developing in WordPress, आप लोगों को ये थोड़ी सी difficulty आएगी. Okay, what plugin should I use? What is a good person who makes good plugin? What is a good company that makes good plugin? And then after trying several plugins, आपकी एक list बन जाएगी कि hey, if I ever want to integrate MailChimp to one of my clients' website, I will always use this plugin. क्यों? उसमें आप comfortable feel करती हैं, it's easier for you to manage, and it works great, and it blends in a lot of things. और आपकी इस तरह की एक list बनेगी. For example, whenever I want to use SSL and integrate SSL into my WordPress site, I do not do it manually. I use this plugin. It's called Really Simple SSL. And what it does is that it secures my website. It converts my HTTP link into HTTPS. It makes my website secure just by installing this plugin. Or maybe one of my favorite plugins. So in this way, you will develop your own taste and set of plugins. Yes, Shazia, if you use too many plugins, it will make your website slow. And I think I went over this. Do not use too many plugins. As you can see from here, I do not have too many plugins. I have a decent set of plugins. If you can see active plugins, I have 10 active plugins. And I think having a number of 15 is workable. Just don't go more than 15 plugins. It would really slow down. But then again, you can have 30 plugins and I can have 10 plugins, and your 30 plugin website can run faster than my 10 plugin website. Just have that in mind. And there could be several reasons. It could be that the 10 plugins I am using are very heavyweight. वो बहुत ज़्यादा load डाल रही है मेरी website पे. And the 30 plugins you are using are very small plugins, like MailChimp की some integration the key plugin. It's a very small plugin. And ये भी हो सकता है कि the service you're using for hosting your website is very good and very fast compared to my service. So that also plays a role, that if you have a really good service for hosting your website, feel free to add 40 plugins. It won't make a difference. Your website will open right away without any kind of issue. But we will go over those server management and hosting management later on. So if you want to install 40 plugin, just make sure you have to plugin to support those 40 plugins. इसको आप एक गाड़ी की तरह ही समझे कि अगर आपके पास एक कार है, or it's a motorbike, अगर आप उसके ऊपर let's say a motorbike is capable of handling 2 persons on it, and it will run fast, like 60 kilometers an hour. पर अगर आप उसी motorbike के ऊपर 4 individuals बिठा दें, it will run slower and it will not reach that 60 kilometer speed. It will probably be the best it will go is 50 kilometers or 40 kilometers because you are overloading it. Plug-in का भी same concept है, but if you have a little better motorbike, let's say it can handle 4 individuals and go 80 kilometers an hour, feel free to put in a fifth one and it will still go 70 kilometers an hour and it will beat the bike that can only go 60 cow. So your service matters. कि आप कौन सी service use कर रहे हो WordPress में. Plugin is just one part of the issue that you should be aware of, but hosting is the second. आज के lesson का last topic है media. I'm just going to show you media. Very simple. Media functionality allows you to add media, as I said, your music files, your video files, your images, your icons, anything that you want to personally host on your WordPress site, and you should always do that. You should always host is called media. And I'm so sorry that I opened up my Dark Army Studio. I should have done this on your site. So I'm going to click on media. I'm going to close this so we don't get confused. And there is no media over here, so I'm going to do add a media, and I'm going to select an image. I'm going to go to download, and do I have any image here? I have an OpenMaven banner, and I click this, and it added an image that I want to display on my website. This image, and it's been uploaded. So if I click on library again, now it says that this image is up here, and I can use this image in my pages, in my post, since I uploaded it. और आपकी कोशिश ये होनी चाहिए कि जितने भी आपने images or music files or try not to upload music files and WordPress and video files, too many of them on your WordPress hosting, because there's a limitation on spaces on most of the hostings, and if there's too much media being uploaded, वो आपके block भी कर सकते हैं कि you're doing video hosting and blah blah blah. But images, feel free to upload as many as you can. This is an image that I uploaded. As you can see, it gives me a spec details of the image. It gives me a direct URL of that image if someone wants to download. So if I copy this and I paste this in a new tab in the browser, वो बताएगा कि my URL for Amazon Bookstore, which is localhost add Amazon, उसके अंदर WP content upload and homebanner.png ये image का direct link है. If someone wants to download it, they can download it from here. वो इसके ऊपर right click करें, save images, and they will be able to save this image directly from my WordPress site. And the main purpose of uploading media and images is to display it on your page. So what I'll do is that I'll open up one of my posts that I created that Sayed just started training, and I'll add an image to it. And what I'll do is I'll try to add a feature image. I don't know if this will work on WordPress. I can select a file and upload it, or I can already go to my media library and select a pre-uploaded image, which I'll do here. I'll set it as a featured image on my post. This will be a featured image in my post. When I open up the post, this will be in the background. So I'll click update, and I'll click localhost. हम अपना localhost को दोबारा खोलेंगे, and I'll do Amazon. And if I just started my training. This is the featured image of my training post. Or say you started his training. Now this picture is available. If I click on I just started my training, इस post को मैं खोलूंगा on its own slug link that we created, it will have that as part of the post itself. Now, bear in mind that ये जो आपको picture इतनी बड़ी नजर आ रही है because I didn't resize it when I uploaded it. मैंने इसको सिर्फ उतना ही size देखा कि whatever the size it was uploaded, just show the same size of that image. But when we go to develop this professionally, we will create restrictions that this image should not be more than X or Y length. It should just fit in. And for that, you actually will not have to do too much. We will use page builders, which will handle all of this for us. But the main goal of using page builders is so we don't have to do coding. But that was the last part. And if I actually do the same thing over here, add a music file or add a video file, I can use them in my post and pages just the way I showed you. I can even, this is my post I just started my training. I added it as a feature image. I could have actually added it inside the body over here. Now I can actually edit it inside it as a block. So WordPress latest version has its own page builder. which is not too good. But if I click on image, and this is, do you want to upload an image or from media library, click on media library, I can add it from here. और वो pages उसने इसको नीचे लगा दिया page के, I mean on the post. And what I'll do is that मैं इसको featured image में से remove कर दूंगा. Remove featured image. I'm gonna actually place it inside my post. I'm gonna update this. It says post updated. I'm gonna refresh. So now you can see that क्योंकि मैंने जो post का अपना editor है उसके अंदर से मैंने use किया जो block है, it actually resized the image so it fits neatly inside my post and it matches the dimensions of the post. So it auto did it. The featured image doesn't do that. Whatever the image size is, it just throws it. But if you use page builders, this is the page builder provided by WordPress automatically. It is a good page builder, but it is not the one we're going to use. There are better page builders like Elementor and WP Bakery. हम वो use करेंगे. But this was not available until last year. पहले तो उनके पास कुछ भी नहीं था blocks के लिए WordPress itself. You always have to use Elementor. They just started to compete with them and they added these. But this is how you add media to your post, as you can see over here. So now if I go back to my home page, you won't see the image anymore because it's not a featured image. It's located inside the body of the post. So you will actually have to open the post to see this picture or this image. And that's what the function of media library is. Any questions? Because I will be ending the lecture after this. Today was just to show you around, give you a better idea. Tomorrow we will start building our own pages on already pre-built themes. We will actually install themes from WordPress itself and use page builders to integrate it. But any question from today's lecture, जिसकी आपको समझ ना आई हो, you want to go over once again, now is a good time to ask. No one? So I will end today's class. I will stop the recording. And then anyone who has any questions can, जिनको exam की या WAMP की installation में issues है, we will start working on those. So I stop the recording. Recording. How do I stop recording?
Sayed